In this video, I'll demonstrate the completion of the Access Chapter 1 Guided Project 1-2. So the first thing we're going to do is download the start file and also the resources file. And so if we go to, once you download them, they'll be downloaded into your Downloads folder. So once you open up your Windows File Explorer and you go to the Downloads folder, it'll have that both of their files, both the starter file for Access and the resource file. So we're going to double click on the starter file, and you'll notice that it comes up with this security risk, and if that happens, you may have to go to the file name, file properties here, which is this. If we right click on the file and go to properties, in the security section down here, it says this file came from another computer and might be blocked to help protect this computer. So you're just going to click on the unblock there and apply that, and then click OK. And then you'll be able to just dismiss this and you have your file. Okay, so now we're going to proceed on to, so that was in the instructions. Whoops, I had some of these checked off. It was this instruction here. So we enabled the content, and the file's renamed automatically. We're not going to rename it. And then we're going to click the table button for step number 1 to create a new table. So I'm going to move my instructions over here to my other screen and bring up the blank database. So once you've opened the starter file, it's basically just a blank Access database. You'll notice on the left-hand side there are no objects in this database. We're going to create a table. So we're going to click on the Create button and select the Table button there, and that opens up a blank table, and we can start creating our table. So we're going to, excuse me. So for step number 2, we're going to double click the member ID here, and then we're going to just type member. We just want the first letter to be capitalized. Member ID. The ID is uppercase. And then we're going to press the Enter key. And that will go to this Click to Add Next field. And we're going to enter a short text field for this next field. So we're going to click the short text data type. And then for the field name, instead of field 1, it's going to be first name, all one string like that. And then hit enter. And we're going to enter another short text field, and that's going to be called last name, uppercase L, uppercase N, all one string. And then hit enter. And we're going to enter a short text name for the address. So these next few fields are in the table that are table 1-10 that are in the instructions. So this is going to be a short text field, and it's going to be address. And then hit enter, and a short text field for city, and enter, and then a short text field for state, and then enter, and a short text field for zip code. So zip code, all one string, and uppercase C for the, should be uppercase ZIP, C, uppercase C, ODE. And then the next, if we hit enter, the next field is going to be a hyperlink. So we're going to go down here and select the hyperlink data type. And that's going to be email address. So, and then we're going to hit enter, and we're going to short text, and that's going to be cell phone number. And then do Control S to save all of those changes, and we're going to name our table members. So we just created a new table called members in our database. And you notice on the left-hand side, it now shows an object, a tables object called members. And then we're going to go down to step 3, and we're going to select the member ID field name. So just click on that member ID field. And then we're going to click on the name and caption. And for the caption, we're going to type first space name. So we're not going to touch the name. We're going to select the caption segment there. We're going to type, we're going to put member ID, member space ID, like that. Whoops. Okay. And all that does is, look, member ID, the fields are all one string, and when you put in that caption, it'll show a better representation of what that field represents. But you'll notice the properties, if we look at the properties of that, it would still show a single string member ID as the field name. Okay, and then we're going to go on to the first name field, and we're going to also select the name and caption. And in the caption section again, we're going to put first space name, and then click OK. And then we're going to click, and then we're going to click OK, and then we're going to type 20 in the field size. So right up here where it says field size, we're going to put, instead of 255 characters, we only want the first name to be 20 characters. And then hit enter. And then we're going to change the remaining field properties and basically just the field, well, actually caption and field size. So in table 1-11 in the instructions, it says for last name, so you select last name, the name and caption, we're going to put, for the caption, we're going to put last space name, and then click OK, and that's going to be 25 instead of 255. And then we're going to select the city, or address rather, and that's, instead of 255, that's going to be 45. So we're only changing the size, we're not changing the caption. Same with city, we're only going to change the size. So that's going to be 25. And state, we're only changing the size, and that's going to be 2. And for zip code, we are going to change the caption. So we're going to select the name and caption. And for the caption, we're going to put zip, uppercase ZIP. And then we click OK. And for the size, we're going to put 5. And then for the email address, we're going to put, for the caption, we're just going to put email. Oops, excuse me. Make sure you're on the caption field and just put email. And then click OK. And the size doesn't apply to that because it's a hyperlink. And then if we click on the cell phone, we're going to change the caption to cell space phone. And we're going to change the size to 12. Change the size to 12 there. And then hit enter. And then click the save button to save the changes. So up here, click on the save button. And then we're going to enter the member records in the members. We're going to enter some records into our new table that we just created. So we're going to click on the first name cell in the append row. So right here, see the row with the asterisk or the gold asterisk there, that's the append row. And we're going to click on the first name, and I notice I've got a problem here. I need to change that. I got a misspelling in the caption. So I'm going to fix that real quick. So it should say first name. If you did that fix it because you might get points off there. Okay, so then we're going to type in the append row, make sure that the append row is selected now. And we're going to put Geneva for the first name and the last name, and then you can hit tab, and then the last name is going to be Lingle, and then tab over to the address, and it's going to be 1850 Stone Ridge Court. And then we can tab over to the city, and that's Cameron Park. Tab over to the state, and that's California, uppercase CA, and then tab over to the zip code, and that's 95682. And then we can tab to the email, and that's glingle@gmail.com. And then we can type in the cell phone number, tab over to the cell phone number, and it'll be 780-886-6625, excuse me. And then we're going to tab to the next field, and we're going to enter all the records specified in the table 1-12 in the instructions. There's 3 more records. So I'm going to pause the video while I enter those records. And because you don't want to watch me type all those in. I'm not very good at typing. So we'll pause that, and you can enter all those records in the table as specified. But do make sure that when you're entering the records, you select that first name on the append row, or you can tab over and it'll go to the first name on the append row, and you can enter the next record. So after you've entered all the records, make sure that you don't have any misspellings in there. So double check that so you don't get points subtracted. And then we're going to move on to step number 5 here. We're going to change the layout of the members table. So first thing we're going to do is click the zip column to select the zip field, and then right click to open up the field or the context menu. Oops, you need to right click on the zip column heading, and we're going to choose field width, and we're going to change the field width to 7. And then click OK. And we're going to want to center align that. So we're going to do that. That's on the Home tab. In the text formatting section here, you have these alignment bars. And choose the center alignment. And then we're going to select the state column. And we're going to put the pointer on the right border of the state column until when it becomes a double arrow like that. We're going to double click it. To double click it will auto adjust that field down to the right column width. And then we're going to resize that, or we're going to center align that rather by clicking on the center line bars there. And then we're going to click the alternate row color drop down right here. In the text formatting section is the alternate row color. And we're going to select the 4th column, 2nd row under the theme colors where it's blue-gray, text 2, lighter 80%. And then we're going to do Control S to save the changes. So Control S, and then we're going to close the members table by clicking on the X there on the tab. And then we're going to import, on step number 6, we're going to import data from the Excel spreadsheet that was that resource file that we downloaded. So we're going to go to the External Data tab here, and we're going to click on New Data Source. And we're going to select From File, and we're going to select Excel. And we're going to go to this Browse button, and we're going to find that in the Downloads folder where we downloaded that resource file. So go to the Downloads. This opens up the File Explorer, and then you click on the Downloads folder. and there's the members data file -01. And we're going to click on open. And you'll notice that the file name or the file path for that members data file is there. And then we're going to, where it says search for import in Microsoft Access to help for more information, under that are these three buttons. One is the import the source data in a new table in the current database. But we want the second one. This is if we didn't have a members table, we could import the data and it'll actually create the members table. But we already have the members table. We're going to select the append a copy of the records to the table. And you want to make sure that this window says members. And that's the only table that we have in our database, so it's going to say members. So then click OK. And then here it'll show all of the fields that are going to be downloaded into the members table. And then we're going to click OK. Click the next button here, excuse me. And we want to make sure that it says import to table. We want to make sure that says members. And then we can click on this finish. And we don't need to save the import steps because we're not going to do it again. This would be if you were something you were going to do quite often, you could save those import steps and that would be like a shortcut. But go ahead and close that. And then open the members table in datasheet view. So if you just double click on the members table rather, it'll open it up in datasheet view and it'll show all of those new records. Remember, our last record was Roy Baxter. Now we've got records 5 through 14 added that were downloaded from that spreadsheet. So if you have a lot of data in a spreadsheet and you want to convert that to a database, you can do that by just importing it. And in our case, we had created the members table with all of the appropriate fields and field data types, so we can just import it that way. Okay, now we're going to hide the state field. So we're going to select the state column here, and we're going to click the More button and then select Hide Fields. So on the Home tab in the Records group, there's a More button here, and we're going to select the Hide Fields. And then that'll hide that state table because it's all California anyway, so we don't care. And then we're going to do Control S, and that completes step number 8. Now we're going to sort the members table. So we're going to click the drop-down arrow just to the right of the city field name, and we're going to select Sort A to Z from the drop-down list, and that'll sort our table alphabetically by the city. And then we're going to click on the Remove Sort button to remove the sort criteria. So up here in the Sort and Filter section, if we click on that Remove Sort, that reverses it back to the way that it was. Now we're going to click the Zip column for step 7 or 9B rather, and we're going to click, hold, and drag the pointer to move the zip column to the left of the last name column. So we want that to be left of the last name column, to the left of the last name column. Okay. All right. I don't know why we would put it there, but that's what they said. Okay, and then click anywhere to deselect the zip column. So you click anywhere outside of that zip column to deselect it. And then click and hold the pointer over the zip column with the selected pointer still displayed. Drag the pointer to the last name column. So this is step 9G. So we're going to click and drag it over so that we've got the zip and the last name column selected. And then we're going to click on the ascending button in the Home tab Sort and Filter group right here. And the records display in ascending order by the zip column. In cases of the same zip code, the records are sorted in ascending order by the last name. So click on ascending, and you can see in some cases the zip code is repeated, and in those cases it shows the last name in ascending order. Okay, so then we're going to click on the Remove Sort button, and so we're going to click on the Remove Sort button again, and then we're going to click anywhere to deselect the columns, and then we're going to move the zip column to the right of the city column, if that makes sense. So click anywhere. So you click a second time. So click once to select the zip column, and then hold your mouse button down. You'll get that black bar, and that means you can move it over to the right of the city column. And then that will move the zip over to the right of the city column. For step 10, we're going to filter the members table using filter by selection. So we're going to select 916 in the cell phone list for member ID 2. Okay, so member ID 2. So if we select this 916, just, okay, and then we're going to click the selection button in the Home tab and Sort and Filter group. So we're on the Home tab here in the Sort and Filter group, the selection, and then we're going to click on the begins with 916. And we can see that it filters it down to the just the records that have a cell phone number that begins with 916. And then we're going to click on the drop-down arrow to the right of the cell phone field name, and then click Clear the Filter from the cell phone. And then that gets us all our records back. Okay? Now we're going to, on step number 11, we're going to filter the data sheet using a text filter. So click the drop-down arrow to the right of the email field name. And we're going to select text filters right here. And we want it contains. So we're going to choose the contains. And we're going to type Gmail here. And then click OK. And it'll display the 5 records that have Gmail in the email. And then we're going to toggle that filter. So switch back to the view all the records. So if we click on this toggle filter, now you get all the records. And if we toggle it again, we'll get the filtered results again. And then click the drop-down arrow to the right of the email, and then just clear the filter from email to remove the filter. Now we're going to close the members table by clicking the X in the tab and select No in the data log in the dialog box. Don't save any of the sorting and filtering. So I'm going to select No here. And then we're going to review the completed members table. So we're going to double click the members table to view the table. I'll double click it, and that'll open up the table. And the table should look similar to figure 1-115, which it does. And then close the table by clicking X in the tab. And then add database properties using the database properties dialog box. So click the File tab to open the Backstage view. So click on the File tab here. That opens the Backstage view. And then click on the Info button on the left-hand side here. And then click the View and Edit Database Properties right here where it says View and Edit Database Properties. And then we're going to put American River members in the title area. So just type American River members in the title. And then type Taylor Mathos in the author area. Taylor Mathos. And ARCC in the company area. So you can tab down to the company area, ARCC, and then type OK or click OK to save the changes. And then close the dialog, the database by clicking X in the upper right-hand corner here. And then upload and save your project. So let me bring this window back over here. Go back up to the top. Oops, it says upload and save. Oh, upload and submit your project. Yeah. Upload your project file and submit it for grading. So we're going to go up here to the beginning, click on upload my file. It's going to be the one in downloads, the one that I just saved at 2:38 p.m. for me. Click open. It's uploading your file. Yes, submit it. Then it'll grade it. Hopefully we get 100%. If not, we can fix anything that we did wrong. But we got 100%, so that was good. Okay, so that completes that. Hopefully that helps, and appreciate your attention.